All right, welcome. If you are thinking about buying a Twitter account that has 10,000, 20,000, 50,000, 100,000 followers, then this video is for you. I'm going to show you exactly how I did that. And this is a cautionary tale because it did not turn out anywhere close to what I hoped it would. This was an experiment to see if all of these NFT projects that are just buying Twitter accounts have any advantage over organic growth. And spoiler alert, they do not. But I'm going to show you exactly how I bought this account so that you can see what it looked like, my thought process as I went through it. And since there is a debate about whether it's better to just buy a bunch of followers for clout so that you can launch your project, and when everybody goes to see the page, they're like, oh, it's got 100,000 followers, it must be good. Obviously, this is a garbage way to promote a project. So I will show you how our social experiment went. I decided to create a fake account around poker just to see what would happen and to see if once I bought those 100,000 followers, if I could then grow them organically from there and if any of my posts would have engagement. So we'll dive into that. I'm John Ray with NF Treasure and Jade Protocol. If you're interested in one of our projects, you can see it below. You can print your NFTs, earn crypto through our DeFi game. But this video isn't about that. It's about buying hundreds of thousands of followers and ruining the meta of NFT organic growth. But if you want to do it, this is how you could go about doing it. I went to this accs-market.com/Twitter. You can search for profiles that have NFT in them. And boom, you can see here's a profile that has 70,000 subscribers, 50,000, 500. Basically, there's a ton of these NFT Twitter accounts because basically they bottom up and then make a quick $50, $25. You can see that these are inexpensive, and because they're so expensive, you can almost guarantee that they have no organic followers. However, one of the things that was suggested to me if I was going to buy a Twitter account, and one of the reasons that we decided to do it just for a fake concept before we attempted it with any real client or NFT project, we went ahead and basically once you find, let's say you wanted these 70,000 subscribers, you could click on this. And eventually it would show you the page. Let's see if we can get one of these other ones to open up. Okay, so this guy's got 15,000 or so subscribers. We can see that the Twitter handle is Denise and a bunch of letters. That's obviously a red flag. The one we bought at least was NFT_trade05, so it at least had the keyword that we were looking for in it. And you can see that there actually is an account here with 15.4 thousand. Now, almost always these accounts either have 0 tweets or they have a bunch of retweets. None of them are their own, which just goes to show that probably they don't have any organic following, because if they did, they would want to showcase the engagement that they're getting. Anyhow, one way that we could see if this account is fake or if it's been completely botted up, this guy says that he sells bot accounts, so we would want to avoid that one. The one that we seemed to be pretty legit, we went to followeraudit.com. We put in the username that we were considering purchasing, and then it spit out a PDF report. So the account was nftrade__05. At the time, it had 78,000 followers. This is actually something we didn't see because the account when we bought it had 106,000 followers. However, oops, I just spoiler alerted you. This report showcases 78,000. Of those, only 13% were tagged as fake, which we ran a bunch of legit accounts, and a lot of the legit accounts had a percentage of fake follows as well. I think this is just inevitable on Twitter. But active, it's showcasing 86%. the things that we had read in our research showcase that if this number was over 84-85%, you were pretty close to the world average. Like even totally legit accounts have 88%, only 88% active on average. It shows you the follower quality graph. So you can see that of the 78,000 followers that it was able to scan, it ranks them 0 to 10. So 10 is like totally legit active followers. 0 is basically bots. And you can see a large portion of these follows are 5 or higher, which in our mind made it seem like this was going to be an account worth purchasing, and at least worthy of our social experiment. So this report highlights kind of the demographic layout of the followers on the account, and gives you a bunch of data about whether they're verified or non-verified, protected or non-protected. So for the sake of our experiment, we figured, okay, well, it's 86.5%, which is almost the world's average. So maybe this is worth the $400 that they were charging for this account. So the way that it works is you essentially would click buy this account, and it's going to open up a chat. And in the chat, it tells you the transaction amount, and you can set up this transaction to be via escrow. So using the escrow service, you don't have to rely on basically the NFT account holder, the person who built this fake account. You don't have to trust them that they're going to transfer the NFT credentials to you. You send your money via escrow to the ACCS market. Their escrow agent then holds the funds in escrow. It collects the login details from the account owner. And then once it has those login details, it releases the funds to the buyer, and it releases the login details to you. So this process actually went very smoothly. And it's funny buying an NFT related product that would be, this is such a perfect use case for, because this is basically an OTC sale. And so what are we doing? We're having to rely on a middleman, which is the whole purpose of NFTs and crypto, is to remove middlemen. And so a marketplace like this that was built on the blockchain would actually be a really good showcase of why blockchain technology exists. But I digress. So the process went well. They transferred the credentials to us. Now we had our account. Now, we were told by the many different places that we had looked into this that we could change the name and then wait 2 weeks, not post anything, and then we would be good to go. And so for the first couple of weeks, we were posting posts about poker. We had very minimal engagement. Of 106,000 followers, we'd maybe get 3 or 4 likes on each post. But when we went and searched out shadowban, so you can use this shadowban.userisa.com. I'll put these links in the description of this video. But you can see, basically type in any Twitter handle, and it will search to see if your account has been shadow banned. Now, a spoiler alert here, our account, where do I have it, was suspended last week. So after about 4 weeks of posting poker content, and things actually going well, like we got maybe a handful of people in the poker industry to follow us back, by mentioning people and writing posts. We were attempting to go from the 106,000 and then just grow to organically there. I will say that having 100,000 followers made it pretty easy for us to get our DMs responded to. We had a couple of professional poker players that started conversations with us. So clearly we were enjoying the clout of 106,000 followers for about 4 weeks. Then out of nowhere, Twitter, or not out of nowhere. So 2 weeks ago, we noticed that in the shadow ban tool, all of these search suggestions were coming up as banned. So let me just show you what a good account looks like, or let's just hope my account is in good standing. So if I search my account and run a test, we can see there's not a suggestion ban, there's no search ban, there's no ghost ban, and there's no reply deboosting detected. So my account is good to go. I am ready for organic growth. Now, when we first purchased the account, this is what the Poker Mystic account looked like. And so we started adding people from the poker industry, about 50 a day. And what we noticed is after about 2 weeks of doing that, all of these suggested that we were being shadow banned. However, the account was still active, and so the suggestion was just stop posting for a couple of weeks and the shadow ban will get lifted. Don't follow as many people, perhaps, and then you can get back to normal. Well, this week, our experiment ended abruptly because Twitter suspended the account. It basically said that we were violating the Twitter rules. There weren't a lot of details on that, but this was kind of what we suspected all along, that if you're trying to cheat the system, ultimately that will catch up with you. And clearly the Twitter team, and of course there was a handover happening at Twitter from the old Twitter team to the new Twitter team. And it seems that what may have been allowed when this account was being sold to us, because the account was still active, is no longer allowed now. So alerting you to the fact that you may waste whatever money you spend on this. And more importantly, had we actually been trying to build an NFT project rather than just a social experiment for a fake poker concept, well, that would have been a waste of time and energy, and very deflationary for, emotionally for our community. So I do not suggest buying any of these, but I will put the tools in place so that you can kind of check these things for yourself. You can check other NFT project accounts to see, how legit any of these are. Putting in NFT accounts into the follower audit is actually an interesting way to kind of check in on the legitimacy of any project. So the question remains, okay, well, if we can't buy 100,000 Twitter followers, how are we going to grow a following, not only as an NFT project, but just personally as we build our personal brand in Web3? And so today I've got a person that you have got to follow right now. Zero Cool ETH on Twitter has been posting phenomenal content about how to grow your Twitter account in the NFT space. Now, he is mostly focusing, he or she, I'm not sure how they designate themselves, but Zero Cool is focusing on how do you become a good community member and how do you quickly grow a following in an NFT community. So I'm going to be going through some of Zero Cool's advice here, but first I want you to go into the description and click through to Zero Cool ETH's account and make sure that you're following Zero Cool. We'll also be highlighting one other person that I think you should be following, but let's go through this thread. Zero Cool says, want to follow and to become a reply guy legend? Just reply and read below. This thread will train you to boost your engagement from down to up, get hundreds of followers a day. That's obviously advantageous for an NFT project, or if you're a community member in an NFT project, it makes sense for communities to grow their accounts together. Because even though it's great to have one account with 100,000 followers, if those followers are legitimate, it adds a certain level of clout for that NFT project. What's even more valuable is a community of hundreds or thousands of people that each have more than 5,000 followers, because then it creates this massive network effect that really tunes the algorithm in an interesting way. So Zero says the first thing you need to do to fix your PFP, your profile pic. It's the one thing showing up everywhere. It's your marketing face. If your face is great, you'll get more follows. That's simple math. So here's a post on how to get a good PFP. And This is something that I want us to debate in the Twitter thread and in the comments of this video, because for someone who is not doxxed, their identity isn't known to the public, having a PFP is a great way to connect in with a community, and get quick engagement from that community. Now, as somebody who is doxxed, you can see on my Twitter profile, I have my full identity here. So is it better for me to have a PFP profile here and tap into an existing community, or put one of the NFT projects, PFPs or NFTs that I'm involved with, or is there more authoritative thought leader quality to having my actual image here? I'm actually curious what you think about this, and I might put a poll up. But do you trust accounts that have doxed people so that you know it's a real person? Or do you prefer accounts that are using a PFP as their avatar? Let me know in the comments what you think. Regardless, when we look at finding a PFP, Zero has some interesting insight for us. So Zero says, your PFP is killing your follows. Take it seriously. Audience size impacts your Web3 career. How to select a good PFP for growth. So Zero says, I was locked in follows for a while. Then I only spent 0.2 ETH and follows flew up. There's a way to get a PFP cheap that works. Get a PFP with good recognizability. Here's how. So step 1 is select high reach PFPs. This won't be expensive. Select a bunch at a price you can afford. Use NFT Inspect. So this is a tool that basically allows you to look at some of the qualities of an NFT project. So rank the collections by community reach. So when we go over to inspect, we can see that there's a metric here, community reach. And if we click on that community reach, we can see basically 50%, 49%, we can see projects by their community reach. And is that community reach growing? So Utes is grown by 6% over this time frame, which I'm not exactly sure what the time frame is, but let's assume it's 7 days or 30. Oh, this is over the last estimated percentage of all NFT Twitter users exposed to this collection in the preceding 24 hours. Okay, so this number is how many people are engaging with the project or being newly introduced to it over the last 24 hours. So we can scroll through here and find projects that already have strong community coverage, or are growing in that coverage. Then Zero tells us to pick 5 of those. Why 5? Because like we ran our social experiment to see if buying a 100,000K account was a good idea, you're going to run a little social experiment on Twitter with your PFP projects. So what you want to know is, are these communities real? And so the research is going to include whether the followers or these community members uphold following new members. So when somebody mentions a project or likes or replies to one of the tweets, is the community actively following new members? Is their founder active on Twitter? You know, when you reach out to them, do they respond to tweets about them? Are they liking their posts, or are they just a one-way broadcast media entity? And then step 3, so you're going to do this with 5 different accounts. So in this tool, you'll pick the projects that you think have interesting growing community or have a community reach that you feel is relevant. And then you're going to share some tweets out on tagging each of those projects and just kind of see what kind of engagement or reaction you get when you reply to some of those tweets or when you tag them in one of your own tweets. Step 3, research part 1. So this is a tweet calling out the collection's Twitter page, tag co-founders and key members too. Ask how active they are if you buy, a separate post for each collection. So you can see this post says, is the most active in the bear. And then you want to run a poll of the collections asking which one is most active. So you can see in this poll, what floor should we sweep with the next raids? This is a way of kind of identifying which community is the strongest. And whoever wins this 24-hour poll, that's maybe a good signal or indicator that this community is really strong. And if you had that as your PFP, it would allow you to start growing a community. And so if you're launching a PFP project in the future, or you're launching an NFT project, one way that you can kind of divert traffic into that is first become deeply rooted in an existing community. And so this is a way to kind of insert yourself into a community and start to provide valuable and meaningful engagement there. And then once you do that and have a following from that community, and then, as we'll see, grow that beyond that community, now you have all of this social clout that you can use to roll into your own project. So search for Twitter for recent posts. You want to see how many people are actually talking about the project. Look for new members who asked for a follow. Did they get followed by the project or other members in the project? And see if they were followed back in replies. So one thing in our own community for NF Treasure that I think we need to be doing more of, and thanks to Zero for pointing this out, is as people respond and reply to the NF Treasure account posts, or even to my posts, I need to do a better job of following those people back. We need to have NF Trez intern following those people back. And then we as a community need to make sure we're following those people, replying to their personal posts as well, so that we can grow that tight bond, actually get to know these people, understand what's happening in their lives, and really build bonds and a true community instead of just being broadcast. So part 3 of the research is which collection had the higher replies from your post. The community needs to be bullish. Like, are they excited about the project? Which one has an active or friendly founder? So did that founder engage with you? Did you see any videos of them on YouTube? Did you enjoy some of the posts from their personal account? And then if your posts are ignored, it's not necessarily a reason not to buy. If your account has low reach, it may just be that they didn't see the DM that came in or the reply that came in, or you're not at that level of influence yet. That was the interesting thing about when we first started with the Poker Mystic account and 106,000 followers. We were, messaging high-end, name professionals in the poker space, and just asking them questions about things that they had posted, their courses, advice on different poker strategies. And they were engaging with us because we have 106,000 followers. So even though those were fake followers, it created a level of social clout. And that social clout is what Zero is talking about, in each of these threads. And again, make sure that you go and follow Zero Cool ETH on Twitter, because there's a ton of great content outside of what we'll be covering today, that Zero and the community there that Zero's building is posting about. All right. So we look at all of our research that we did, with our 5 PFP communities or NFT projects, and then we pick a collection. So we either go by feel or numbers, whatever works for you. We look at past posts from other people. Do we resonate with how the community is engaging? And then when you're ready, when you've decided on a project, don't pick an obscure set of traits. So you're not going for the most rare PFP out there. You want to select clean traits. And this made me think a little bit, because this was new thinking for me. Like, whenever I'm looking at an NFT project, I'm like, okay, how can I get the rarest one? But what Zero is saying is that people can mistake rare traits for fakes. Fakes and derivative collections have diluted art, or diluted the space as a whole, because so many people are putting out derivative, basically secondary collections that are, created by AI, or they took the same style and just tweaked it. And so when you have something that has a bunch of obscure traits, people might assume, because they haven't seen those traits in any of the more common NFTs or PFPs, they might assume, oh, that's a fake or it's diluted. So Zero suggests for your first growth PFP, don't get fancy. Just start with a floor common, and if the collection is good, the community will respect it. So then you buy it and you show it off. You put it on your profile. Bonus points if you've set up Twitter Blue. So you've got this check mark here. Zero and I are both zeroed in on that. And then put the collection number in your profile. So Zero's is Sappy Seals NFT number 6332. Then post about it. So this is a way, before you launch your own project or as you're building a reputation in the Web3 space, because let's face it, one of the best ways to make money in Web3 is to provide value to a project and then get hired on as a community manager, a project manager, a promoter. Or even if you just hold that NFT, or a handful of NFTs, as you build clout, you get to have a larger voice in that community and drive engagement and governance and help determine, what comes about with that project in the roadmap. So one thing that you can do once you have that PFP is post about your PFP, show it off, ask the community what they think about it. Maybe put a thread together for the things that you like about that project and the reasons that you ended up, purchasing it. And if you are flattering the project and believe the things that you're saying, there's a high likelihood that that project will retweet you, which then puts you in front of a huge audience. So step 7, summon the horde. Post showing it off, ask the collection to follow, join the Discord, post in Discord, message the co-founder and members about your new purchase, and keep celebrating your collections. Follows incoming. And now you look a lot less like a bot because, you are actively engaged in subject matter that is clearly important to at least the people who hold this particular NFT. And on a larger scale, as you build clout in that small community that is incentivized to follow you and engage with your posts, your reach can expand beyond that into other projects as you become more well-known. Because let's face it, we're all involved in multiple projects. And so you start niche in one project and then grow your clout beyond that. So if you enjoyed that or these tips, again, make sure that you go and follow Zero. I did want to just look at some of the other things quickly that Zero recommends. So Zero says Twitter recommends people to follow. This is a huge source of follows. People want to know if you're a bot or not. You need to sell them on the follow in one glance. Fix up your bio using this thread that Zero made. So if we pop open that thread, this is more tailored towards, do you want a job in Web3 or do you want to be working in Web3 or do you want to just be a thought leader in the space and the projects that you're a part of and have your voice kind of elevated to a level where your ideas get heard? So Web3 managers now check Twitter. What's wrong with looking at LinkedIn? Because the people that you find on LinkedIn often aren't engaging with crypto Twitter at all, and hiring managers don't want that. All types of roles benefit from engaging here. So in the traditional world, like when I went and got a job at Google, it's standard practice for them to go through your resume, call all your references, look at your LinkedIn. But in Web3, it's really much more about what kind of a community do you have? How good are you at communicating things? What kind of track record and portfolio do you have? And so by being active on Twitter, and showcasing that there is a community of people who respect you and engage with you, it's much more likely that you can parlay that into some kind of income opportunity in the crypto space. So if you're looking for that community work, you want to say it clearly that you're a community manager, that if you already run some Twitter accounts, make sure that those are listed in your profile, state the community size on Discord and Twitter. And obviously, if you've worked with a project that is well known, you want to make sure that you link to it. And if your community work isn't in Web3, just post some of the project's discords, or join some Web3 project discords, maybe the one that you just put as your PFP profile, and start to provide value. I've got a whole video on kind of how I got picked up by several projects in Web3 and paid for various work, from writing articles, blog posts, to community management, to making videos, etc., to now being a project manager and ultimately a project lead in NF Treasure. All of that started by me giving free value, identifying needs in a project where the team was overwhelmed, and then filling that need without any expectation of getting paid. And ultimately what happened is the community found that valuable. My voice was elevated in the community. And then because of that, the team was kind of flagged to who I was, and things progressed from there. So if you're looking for marketing work, say that you're looking for marketing work. If you're looking to be a collab manager, say that you're looking to be a collab manager. If you're looking for developer work, you want to make sure that you link to your GitHub and that you're putting those things in there. And ultimately, if you're growing your own project, you want to make sure that you highlight, hey, I'm looking for people that are interested in NFTs. I'm growing a project on the Avalanche network. I have a community of people that are interested in the cross section between e-commerce, DeFi, and NFTs. And we want to give anybody on any NFT project on AVAX and ETH the opportunity to print their NFTs, earn crypto, and compete for essentially ownership or revenue share from the e-commerce store using our treasure box game. So those are the type of things that in my own profile I would want to highlight. And as you do this, remember, you can expand your reach massively beyond one community. But before you launch a project, launch your own project, it's highly beneficial to use the clout and the tight-knit community of an existing NFT project to parlay into your own project, your own ideas, your own thinking at a more macro level. So you start with a small community, you get really hyper involved and provide as much value as you can to that one project. Then, as that project respects you and respects your opinion and respects the time and value that you're providing to the community, you can expand out to NFTs as a concept as a whole and start to grow your domain of influence beyond just that one project. And once you start to develop some clout there, you're over the 5,000 follower mark, you get over the 10 or 15,000 mark. Then that's the time to start thinking about, okay, maybe I can launch my own project, or maybe there's a new project that I want to lend my attention to, and I could charge for that maybe. So let's see what else Zero is recommending. Zero says, now you have your bio on PFP in a better place, but your GMs, your good mornings, are likely terrible. Let's fix this. So this is something that when I got into the crypto space, I knew about the GM meta. So GM is when you get online, you post GM, you let people know, hey, at the part of the world that I'm in, it's morning time right now. Is it morning anywhere else for you? And this is a way to signal, hey, I'm online and I'm looking for community. So this is an interesting route to starting to tune the algorithm and really build relationships with the people in your community. Zero says, I went from 1 like on my GMs to 400 plus. Here's a thread on how to juice your GMs. So Zero's old GMs were dead. You can see in this image, early morning GM, and there were only 1 reply, only 1 like. And so basically what Zero did was joined a community, just like we just talked about. These are the 4 NFT communities that he really, or that Zero started to engage with. Zero posted asking for follows, and they started to follow. So let's see. We already covered everything in this, doing a poll and doing your research on which PFP you should have. Step 2 is time your GMs. What time of day are your followers active? Post when they're good for a GM. Timing is key. You need fast likes for the Twitter algo. So one of the things that we've been looking at as we're playing with different Twitter growth hacks is that really that first 45 minutes, 60 minutes of a post, the more likes and replies on the post, the more reach Twitter ends up giving to that post. And so when you post a GM and make it really easy for somebody to post a GM back or to post a meme back or to like, this tunes the algorithm and says, hey, something that's happening here is this is an account that is active and that we should push content out to. And so then when you push content beyond your GM post, all of those people that liked it and replied to it are now tuned in the algorithm to see that post. Step 3 is ask and you shall receive. Ask people to reply back. You might be afraid to, but you need to try. I'll show you an example of this on another account and why doing these replies, and there are people that are doing 300 replies a day, doing 20 to 50 a day, I think early on is a really great way to start to build a following. People are going to see you in their replies and likes every single day and start to get curious about who is this person. So step 4 is prep your GM with fuel. So before you send out your good morning, Zero is saying that you want to go and reply to a bunch of other people's GMs. So in Twitter, you can basically search for GM. So we would go to Twitter, we would search GM, and it's not morning, so we may not be able to do this. We would do from people you follow. And so all of our GMs are 0. That's funny. So we can see people that are posting GM, and if it was morning time, we might see a little bit more. We could sort this by latest. We can see the people in our community that are posting GM, and we could just go through and like these and say GM to all of these people, get on their radar, click through to their profile, see what's going on, and start to build community with people by really actively ramping up our GMs. I sent a post. Let's see if I can find it. I sent a post to Zero earlier. Here it is. This is just a reply guy going to pick that morning fruit. Get those GMs in. Just a reply guy picking that fruit. And this is basically one way to start growing a community. If you do this, with the people in the community from your PFP project, which is potentially 3,000 to 6,000 or more people, and then you slowly start to expand to other NFT projects, in a very short period of time, you're going to have a following that allows you to grow beyond those communities. And once you have a robust following, then it becomes a really interesting time to be launching your own project. And so in NF Treasure, for our community, for Jade, starting to grow our accounts as in a community. So each of us putting our own thoughts and ideas out and building these accounts and bringing NFT projects to NF Treasure to engage with our reward system and finding projects that are interested in creating merch. Like our investment in NF Treasure will be amplified by all of us building relationships with other NFT projects in precisely the way that Zero is highlighting here. So step 5 is okay, so this going and replying to all those GMs first and then putting out your own GM. Why do you do that? Well, because, of course, if you've gone and liked and responded, replied to a bunch of other GMs, and then you put your GM post out, all of those people are going to feel more emotionally incentivized to engage with your post as well. So this is something that Zero learned from Minister of NFTs, and I'll show you some engagement that I've had with the Minister earlier today at the end of this video. Step 5 is keeping it clean. You don't want to directly shill. You don't want to write the actual letters GM in your reply. You want to, if you want to write more than, excuse me, you don't want to shill. You want to write the actual letters GM. The idea is to keep it simple. You don't want people, you don't want to waste people's time. Just want to showcase, hey, I'm here. I see you. I acknowledge you. We're building a community together. and take it from there. If you want to write more than one sentence, keep it clean and space them apart. People look for GM posts to reply. They know about the GM fuel secret. They only find clean GMs. So again, anytime you're writing, more than a couple of lines, you're losing people. This is something that we learned in our project early on is people would write these giant blocks, walls of paragraphs with no spaces. And if, when I'm getting hundreds of DMs a week, it's just impossible for me to go through that much text. And so keeping things short and sweet in your replies, skewing towards humor, like all of these things help start to slowly build a connection with these other accounts. All right. So let's see what else we've got. We talked about shadow banning a little bit, and you can use this shadowban.userisa tool to see if you've been shadow banned, and then click these little arrows here to find if one of these is red or yellow. It will give you information on how you can basically remove the ban. And of course, Zero is a great person to follow for helping you fix any bans that you might have if that happens. So closing out, Zero says, what's our goal here? Why are we growing? Well, we're growing for perks, community, and friends. Without growth, you get muted by the algo. And this is why you should be a reply guy legend. So some repliers get 50 to 100 followers in Zero's last post. We're removing the gates from the gatekeepers. So basically what Zero's talking about is the algorithm is going to massively limit how many people see your ideas if you're not actively tuning the algorithm. So every time you like or comment on something, it's more likely that you're going to see more content from that account. And vice versa, when people like your content or reply to your content, your ideas and your content, your tweets are going to get in front of more and more people. And Twitter basically tests your content in front of new audiences based on how engaged your existing audience is. So if it says, okay, 5% of their followers, replied or liked this post within 60 minutes, this might be a post that other people in a more generic audience would like. And so it will test it to 10,000 people that don't follow you. And then if it goes well there, it'll test it to 100,000 people that don't follow you. And this is how something goes viral. But it starts with getting those 50 to 100 likes or follows to tune the algorithm to say, hey, this account is active and important. So what are the benefits of all of us connecting? And this is for any NFT community or any community online, but I'm specifically putting this out if you're growing your own NFT project, if you're an NFT project that is already existing and your engagement has dropped off, or if you're looking to re-engage a dead NFT project by creating a merch pipeline through NF Treasure. Well, you still, if you're going to crank up the merch engine, yeah, you may have 3,000 to 6,000 holders of your NFT, but you need to actively re-engage them. And what we're going through in this video is a really good way to start to tune the algorithm so that people see your posts again, and recognize that, hey, there's a real person here, that actually wants to understand who their community is and engage with them, instead of just constantly shilling. So look at some of the feedback in the images attached. Participate in my follow threads to get a slice of the pie. If there's enough pie for everyone, this scales really well because we can connect to all of each other. So these are just people who basically replied to some of Zero's posts and then got a bunch of follows for doing so. So 70 follows today. Dude, your tweet blew up, got over 100 follows. Anyhow, we want to find content creators that have a large active following, people that are looking to grow relationships on Twitter and aren't just one-sided wanting, there's so many on Twitter that selfishly are narcissists and just want their opinion heard, and they don't care about listening to anyone. Those aren't the people that you want to follow on Twitter, or the accounts that you want to engage with. You want to engage with people that are actually building community. It's not a one-way conversation. It is people who are curious about the world around them and about others and how they're thinking about the NFT space, the internet as the whole, the advancement of blockchain technology. Building these conversations in the reply section is a great way for us all to gain thought leadership with our peers, our new peers that we're engaging through this process that Zero is lining up for us or outlining for us. And then parlay that thought leadership into our own dreams, desires, and goals, or the goals and dreams of other community members who we're building relationships with. So Zero says, why should we do that? Well, beyond the point of getting bigger follow numbers, we're boosting small accounts. If we can get enough small accounts to be big, we can spread out the reach of Web3 to Web2. That's the ultimate goal here. Let more people understand what's happening in the NFT and blockchain space and get them excited and enthusiastic and engaged with it. So Zero says, consider this. What's better? A few accounts with 100,000 followers and all of those followers being small accounts, or 100,000 plus accounts with 100,000 plus followers tweeting all over Twitter? B is how you boost our reach and grow Web3. So this is, again, an abundance mindset that Zero has here, because what have we talked about so often in Jade and NF Treasure? We're not scarcity minded. We don't mind other players coming into the space. We're looking to grow the pie of the entire space, because then everybody's piece of the pie gets bigger. And that's actually using a method like of growth like this on Twitter and of community engagement on Twitter. It's actually an easier way for us all to have adoption more quickly of Web3, of blockchain technologies, of NFTs. And so the reason to take this on your personal account is that when you have 100,000 followers, anyone in the space is going to respond to your DMs. So think about the opportunity that lives in just having access to so many people. Think about how many projects are looking to hire people. Well, are they going to hire somebody with no following on Twitter, or are they going to hire someone with a highly active audience and community that they've already built? There's a ton of opportunity that opens up for you when you have social clout. So why don't big accounts do this already? Too many big Web3 accounts can reduce the impact of certain big accounts. The quality ones will stay impactful, but it spreads out power. Maybe some big ones will get paid less for promotions. So basically, Zero's talking about how many people in the Web3 space, many influencers still have a scarcity mindset where they already have a massive piece of the pie. And so their market share, potentially gets eaten up if we all start to grow accounts of 10,000, 20,000 accounts. But blockchain is about democratization of power. And one way that we can all grow social power that ultimately grows into financial power and beyond, political power, etc., thought leadership, is to grow our social presence and to learn how to effectively communicate our ideas. And you can see how, this takes a lot of work. It takes putting in time every single day, but it really doesn't take that much time. A lot of this can be done in 30 minutes to an hour a day, and it's way more effective from a hearts and minds perspective, being able to actually convert your audience into taking action on something than going and spending $400 on 100,000 followers. That ultimately any work that you put in after this is highly suspect by the Twitter algorithm. Okay, so I just said, hey, just a humble reply guy putting in the work. That's me climbing that ladder, responding to GMs. We're going to look to do more of this on the NF Treasure account and on my personal account. We're going to be looking to make replies to accounts like Zero's with videos like this. I want you to think, this was a profound shift in thinking for me. How effective just posting GMs and replying to GMs can be in building engagement, because anybody that is posting GM is looking for engagement. They're looking to grow their community. Otherwise, they wouldn't even put it out there. And so daily looking for those accounts and building relationships with them and finding out what's important to them and helping them achieve their dreams, or providing assistance where you can, where they need help. These are all organic ways to start to build social clout that ultimately snowballs and allows you to literally produce whatever project or collection or opportunity you might want to engage with in the future. So NFT Now had a post today about the 10 best GM memes of all time, and these were put together by the Minister of NFTs. I'll post this in this link in the description. You can go through these. If you are, I'm a model on Instagram, I say GM on Twitter. Scientists invented a bracelet that converts GMs to energy. NF motherfuckers. This guy's just lit up. So anyhow, Minister of NFTs, clearly somebody that, has inspired Zero, and we just went through all of Zero's posts. So today I was like, let me go and check out Minister of NFT's account. So I basically went and Minister of NFTs was doing a version of the GM, just asking, saying, hey, whoever follows me, I'm going to follow you back. And so I took the time, I took that follows you, I turned it into a little like Dia de los Muertos altar. I posted this, and Minister of NFTs retweeted this. So this is, an example of somebody with 57,000 followers retweeting something that took me about 10 minutes. But we've gotten, my account has gotten quite a few follows and engagement from that. You can see the post right here already has 3 retweets, 27 likes, and has been put me in front of 848 new people in the NFT space. So you can see how doing this on a daily, regular basis, becoming a reply guy, can really start to give you exponential growth. And it's infinitely better than going and buying 106,000 followers, because remember, that's how you get your account suspended. So again, a huge thank you to Zero Cool ETH. I want to make sure that everybody gets into the description, clicks through to Zero's profile, and follows what they're doing there. A lot of great content coming from Zero, and might as well do the same thing for Minister of NFTs. I went on a binge of both of these accounts over the last 24 hours, and there is a ton of good content for NFT projects and NFT community members, just teaching you how to wield the algorithms in your favor. So make sure that you click through. The link is in the description to both of these accounts. You can follow me. I'm John Ray. And of course, the project that I'm leading is NF Treasure. If you're curious about how you can print your NFTs, earn crypto, and see how we're allowing NFT projects to build out a merch pipeline and forging that intersection between DeFi, ecom, and NFTs, head on over, see some of the threads that we're putting out. We do our best to highlight the things that are interesting to us in the NFT space. And of course, this video is one of those things. I would love to see us as the NF Treasure community grow personally in each of our accounts, so that we can, as a collective, have a ton of social clout across Ethereum, Arbitrum, Avalanche, and beyond, so that as we launch our project, our DeFi game, and our reward system, we can all celebrate our successes and build opportunities off of that new pipeline of commissions, affiliate rewards, and DeFi rewards. So I'm John Ray with NF Treasure, Jade Protocol. If you head on over to my profile, I post about how to overcome frustration and manage emotions in Web3. Of course, subscribe to the channel, like this post. The same tips that work on Twitter also work on YouTube. The algorithms are similar in how they push reach out. And so when you watch all the way to the end of the video, it really helps us out. Even if you're just letting it run in the background, if you like a video, if you subscribe to a video, all of these things push us out to bigger to a bigger audience. Replying and commenting on these videos helps build that community and showcases that the community is active. And then when influencers like Zero or Minister of NFTs come into our project, they go, wow, this is a really active community, and they want to be involved in that. That's how we get exponential growth. That's how we can launch with most success. So let me know what you learned in the comments. Let me know what you'd like me to cover in the future. If you have a creator on Twitter that is posting phenomenal threads like Zero's, post that link in the comments, and we will put it into one of our next videos. For now, I'm John Ray. We'll see you in the next one. Bye.